Alright, screw having a character from a different game, screw having at least one villain for every title first, screw Vanguard and Marksman, and we just gonna have another specialist after Xenos. Yep, I'm wrong, you're wrong, everyone is freaking wrong. Gabranth is back, baby. Man, he was quite an infamous character in a PSP game, wasn't he? Half the time he just running away from you like a coward, and all the time he just murder you and just force you to watch his EX burst 4 or 5 times in a single match. Thankfully, a certain someone who's also from Ibris already taking his charging gimmick, so now Gabranth have to find something else to do. And oh boy, he definitely did. Anyway, I will be doing a breakdown on Gabranth first, and everything else in the stream will be talked about later. Okay, let's judge these characters. Let's go to his base moveset first because it's pretty standard all around. Consider only his bravery attack alone, he is similar to a duelist assassin class like Sedan or Tifa, but also with some combo extended move and a mediocre poking tool. His neutral ground is a standard 3-input combo. Aside from having 5 total hits, it's as standard as you can get. Same thing can also be said about his neutral aerial as well, but it's by the number 3-hit combo. Both of them deal slightly below average damage, at least for assassin and specialist standard, and the attack speed is pretty slow, around K attack actually. Better for team combo, but not so much for solo combo. And because he's also a slower tier specialist class, he will be getting flank attack pretty easily if you're not careful. His forward ground and aerial is a move called Rapture, and very similar to how it was in PSP game, it's a charge move that automatically go upward or downward depending on where enemy is. At least for aerial version, on the ground it's only go upward. This is actually due to NT, there's no other attack that's similar to this, because you know other character will have 2 moves for this purpose. Each one only go one direction or only have one and didn't cover other angle. But to compensate that strength, the move is pretty weak at max range, and the range is also pretty short. It's still good, but yeah, not that good. His backward ground is Arrow, a target AoE that has small area but pretty high vertical range. He can use it decently fast, but he's sitting duck while using it. Good poking tool, but it's not very safe. Also, I think it's only a player on the ground too, so yeah, that might be even worse. Still can hit aerial enemy, but yeah, depending on how high they are. The same thing can also be said about his ground dash as well. A wave attack with pretty short range, have high vertical range, but again, it can only use on the ground, so be aware of how high they are. His backward aerial is a counter block, pretty much Warrior Blight, Shield of Blight or Jack block, can cancel to bravery attack if he blocks something. The difference is it can counter all direction, but can dash or block cancel slower than other counter move, if you miss that is. It also doesn't have other reward like Expressing of Life Buff or Deck Cancel cooldown reduction. This is just for counter and dueling and protect against single projectile. His arrow dash is a boomerang move for combo extender, barely deal any damage, but combined with neutral or forward, at least it's barely past 500 damage mark. I mean, it's pretty alright move, use it to safely pull enemy from the gangbang and so you're not getting gangbang yourself and be safe. But again, his neutral and forward is still going to put him forward anyway, so he's still gonna have to go in. Yeah, pretty situational, but still can be useful if you want to go past 500 damage. And hey, if you're alone, there's nothing to stop you from using this before every attack. 1000 plus damage in one combo, pretty easy, even if it's slower. So yeah, in general, mediocre projectiles, some duelist potential there, a bit of both defensive and offensive, is standard with pretty meaty moveset. For HP attack, 3 of them has been revealed so far. HP 1 is Execution, really fast and short combo attack that deal really good damage. Can totally see this attack to be the most popular one. It's similar to Snow Brutal Blast for its speed, and Xenos Unmoving Toriga for the attack pattern. Additionally, the HP attack plus, I will go into how it activates later. Execution plus allow you to charge the attack to increase range, turn it into sword and sorcery apparently, but still faster. HP 2 is Hatred, a simple short-range all-around AoE, and with the plus version you can charge and grind around before using it. You can move pretty fast and you can suck opponent in too. Kinda remind me of Chaos Wave though, not sure if there's any other effect. HP 3 is Enrage. That long as hell 8-hit combo attack is back and still pretty long, and that drag distance is ridiculous. A plus version increased the points I think, but not sure yet. HP 4 haven't shown yet, but it's really likely it's going to be the move called Innocence. Alright, so far this character seems really standard, but this is where the fun begins. His EXQ, or should I say EXQs, because he has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 EXQ total. And that doesn't even count the universal one. If you add that, then there's a total of freaking 8. You probably see his UI by now, and yep, that's his skill. 3 skill can be activated by triangle, left triangle, or right triangle. And you can switch EX skill set by L3, which make it total of 6 skill. Which means each slot have 2 EX skill assigned to it. And like X-Dead 3 EX skill, 2 of them share the same cooldown. And each slot also have a different cooldown time as well. Which means you have to choose between 2 EX skill for each slot. Also, each EX skill set also have its own focus. The first set focus on offensive and self-buff, and the second set is focused on defensive and helping teammate. Anyway, let's go into each slot. And neutral triangle is an AoE skill. The offensive one plays a big area that debuff the opponent team inside it, decrease their defense and movement speed, lasts for 15 seconds, and the debuff will not apply if they leave the area. It's not like Gabranth, and it's more like Sephiroth. Speaking of Sephiroth, the defensive one do the opposite. It's a defense and speed buff. Instead, it's AoE around ground band, like Sephiroth and Vayne's skill, and lasts for 20 seconds. The dilemma between these two skills is really clear. Do you want to engage and create a zone where the enemy is in disadvantages, or group up with your team and stay defensive and prepare for the enemy approaching? For the left skill, both of them are self-buff, but technically not. Or rather, it's a buff and a debuff at the same time. You can see in the icon that they both have red and blue color, because these two skills is a double-edged sword. The offensive one trade off defense for attack. You deal 30% more damage, but you also take 30% more damage. While the defensive one trade off the attack for team heal when they land the attack. He deals 30% less damage, but heal for about 30% of bravery attack damage, compared to base damage I mean, and HP attack heal your team for about 10% of damage dealt. Similar to Furion, aside from bravery attack deal HP damage, the bravery heal is the same as Furion, but the HP heal is much less. The decision between these two skills is more like a high risk, high reward, or low risk, low reward. Deal a lot of damage when you're good, and take a lot of damage when you're bad, or having both benefit and drawback happen when you are attacking. Again, the heal is not that big. It's still useful, but not that big. And for the last set, the right EX skill is regarding HP attack. The offensive one is a buff that upgrades HP attack. This is where the HP attack plus come in. The buff duration is pretty long, and you don't lose your buff once you land HP attack, so you can keep spamming HP attack plus all the time. I mean, not all the time, but still for a long while. For defensive one, it gives your teammate around you a bravery, but it's only for 350 bravery, and it doesn't give himself a bravery. Yeah, that sounds weak as hell, isn't it? Think of it as a bravery share without you actually sharing bravery. Like sure, this skill is really situational as heck, but if your teammate landing HP attack on someone and just barely have enough bravery to kill them, this skill can be extremely useful in that sense. Again, there's not much dilemma between these two skills honestly. I mean, there still is, I guess. Like, do you want to upgrade your HP attack right now, or make your teammate HP attack deal more damage later? But still, I feel like most people are going to use the HP attack plus anyway, so yeah. 350 bravery for 65 second cooldown skill doesn't seem worth it to me. And that's all the skill he have. Aside from the whole dilemma thing, the cool thing of having multiple EX skill for you to choose is a whole bunch of combination experiments you can do. You don't need to use all 3 offensive or defensive skill, you can combine each one from other set. For example, you got typical Mighty Strike and Lens Shield for maximum damage, and then you use all 3 of your offensive EX skill at once, and see your damage fly high, and you get to use it with sweet HP attack plus. Want some sort of blockdown? Go with offensive trap, some enfeeble or blind guard there to stop them, let your teammate do the honor and give them some bravery. And maybe for good measure, just give them brave share as well. And before doing that, you might use the high risk attack buff to gain some bravery. All I'm saying that the EX skill experiment is probably the best thing about Gabranth, and the fact that he can dash out of his EX skill faster than the other characters make combining his skill even easier and faster. If you look at the skill alone, it's pretty weak, but combine them together with right combination or distribute them and use it sparingly is the biggest strength Gabranth has. So yeah, I can't wait to try him in October 10. And that's it for the character breakdown. For more info, I will be making a moveset video later. The Gabranth DLC price is still the same, thank god. The character is still 800 yen, which I think the price of everywhere else is about $6 instead. The second costume is still $2 to $3, the price that the third costume should be, and for weapon is less than $1. Oh yeah, I should talk about his costume, aren't I? The second costume is Bosch von Rosenberg, and boy, I can't wait for one player to spam I'm Captain Bosch meme. He got a lot of alternate sword skin that we really want you to buy. A lot of these probably based on other judge weapon. The first 3 you get with a DLC character, and the 4th one you have to buy separately. Now let's go into other stuff in the podcast. Unlike when Tifa was revealed, there's actually a balance change this month. Not for character but for summon. Most of them are buffed to AoE attack. Shiva is the only one who got his summon buff nerf. The increase on exclusive EXQ cooldown reduction on hit reduced from 175% to 150%. Not that big of a nerf honestly. Leviathan bubble pillar that follow the target come out slower but have more radius. And by more I mean way more. This increase in radius will apply to a lot of attack later on, including Ifrit AoE that expand over time. Because the initial size is bigger, it also means the size in the end will be bigger too. Odin got a similar attack but it's target everyone instead, but instead of getting nerfed to make it slower, instead they got a buff to make a hitbox duration last longer. And because this AoE expand, it also means it can get even bigger. Bigger from the start, even bigger in the end. Now the duration buff thing luckily is not applied to Ramu. His AoE attack got nerfed really hard, making it last way shorter. Not exactly where I want the nerf to be, but Ramu getting nerfed at all is a plus right now. Some finisher attack also got buffed. Leviathan Tsunami and Odin's Sundeath skin got higher vacuum effect, and Bahamut Mega Fair expand now. Have fun anticipate that AoE size, man. Never ever bunch up together with your team. That's it for the change. There's no DLC costume this month, but for the monthly event we actually got a collab this time, and it's with, oh look at this dude. Oh god, I would never thought I would see that logo in the Dissidia stream. Yeah, apparently we got a Kingdom Hearts collab event, a Union Cross for that matter. Somehow, the gacha game got a collab with NT instead of certain other gacha game. For this is the NT side, we got an icon, and by god, I really hope this thing comes to the global version of NT. It will be so stupid if they don't do it. For Union Cross side, they got a Cloud and Squall Kingdom Hearts costume as a medal, triggering Kingdom Hearts fan even more for the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't have Final Fantasy character, and that's a good thing. Anyway, aside from that, there's a 4th anniversary tournament stuff. We got a wallpaper with Golbez and Cecil for the 4th year. Well, it looks sick, but the Golbez looks like he said, "Give me your phone, brother." And Cesar was like, "No, go away." I don't know, it's kind of funny. And that's it for September podcast. I will try to find a day after Gabranth release in NT to do some lobby stream. But before that, I have to finish his moveset video first. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. And don't forget to buy his sword.